Jeff Kennett wrote an opinion piece today about how over the top the Victorian response has been. He also spoke to my mate Chris Kenny, who clearly had a belter of a show tonight, 2 grabs in 1 intro. Here's what he said today. Sorry, it was with Andrew Bolt, but I love Chris anyway.
And I think the third worry I have with all of this is the Premier's argument that this virus, this particular natured virus out of the UK, spread so much faster. Yes, it may spread faster, but it doesn't justify the words that he used when he was announcing the lockdown. It was almost as though we were all going to be eaten by it if we weren't locked down. And I think, again, he's exaggerated the speed at which the virus might travel to suit his own purpose. And I don't think it's right that every Victorian should be paying the price.
So, Rowan, again, take your pick here. I'm a hero because I stood there for 120 days straight. He can't stay for 3 days during a 5-day lockdown. Victoria Health will not tell us the exact locations of the 20 different cases. And as you guys discussed yesterday, the so-called virulence of the UK strain of definitely not the China virus is 3% more virulent than what we already know.
Yeah, so even a couple of weeks ago, I remember us discussing this. I was very wary of this so-called new, scarier than we've ever seen virus, nothing like we've seen before stuff. And sure enough, Dan Andrews has used it to justify the lockdown when there is no justification for lockdowns. From around the world, there is no evidence that lockdowns work. What there is evidence, and we've seen it in Australia, is that closing international borders and stopping people coming in works, and preventing large crowds getting together in places like football stadiums or whatever it might be, or particularly indoors. But there is no evidence that lockdowns do anything. What is really sad here is that Dan Andrews basically is behaving like the worst, most comical kind of East European dictator, bungling, spinning his way, exaggerating, terrorising people. And I think future generations, or even before them, will look back and say what an absolute fiasco this bloke was, and typical of all those kind of hard left, bungling, bureaucratic type leaders, and I think it's such a shame for Victoria.
Well, the person who's called Patient Zero, the 38-year-old bloke who is a Victorian, and remember, Australians have the right to return home to their country via hotel quarantine. 122,000 have done it with very few leaks along the way. New South Wales has had double the amount as everyone else, and they have dealt with this appropriately. So the system is working for everyone else, but just happens to continually not be working for Daniel Andrews. He, of course, has become the focus of the Andrews government, pointing fingers, but he's deciding to fight back while fighting for his life in ICU. He spoke today to 3RW, who had to do the funny thing to his voice to hide his identity.
I've seen the comments by Dan Andrews that have said that we have the gold standard in Victoria in hotel quarantine. I think what really surprises me is the fact that nobody really from the Andrews government has tried to reach out and get my side of this story and understand. And I'd expect with the gold standard that you'd be trying to get facts from every single source, not just your own sources.